So this is part 2 of demos. They're going to get increasingly more difficult. So let's jump into it. We left off at demo 12, I believe it was. This is demo 15. For this one, you can see it has these symmetry lines. So honestly, we only need to draw 1/4 of this, and then we could just mirror it twice. Huh, convenient. So, start somewhere here. This square says it's 10 over, which means it's got to be 10 up, I believe. That's not 10, that's 1. 10 up. We're going to do this top right quadrant. This distance is 50 up, so I'll draw that line. This distance is 50 over. From there, we got radius 10 corners. This comes up 20, and it comes over. How much we come over? Center point of the circle is 35 over. Where are we going over? I know this whole thing is 50 over, which I believe I made this, if I remember correctly. 4 foot, 2 inches, that's 50. Yep. So if I just go down some, at least at the start, it's 20 up. Okay, let's just go down some, and then let's fill it this. Fill it, enter. R, enter. Radius 10, and that's not what I wanted. Fill it, enter. R, enter. 10, enter. So we got that corner. And we know there's a line that is offset 20 up from here. And then we could extend this. Fill it, enter. R, enter. 10, enter. Boom, baby. So we got that portion. I'm wondering if this is just... Oh. There it is. I wasn't looking at that. I was being an idiot. I was thinking it was 22 just because of this. And I had a feeling it was going to be symmetrical about everything. But it explicitly tells me I come in 20, which means this needs to come in. This needs to be 30 in. Don't need this line. Don't need most of this line. We will do offset 30. Connect that over. And it'll come down to this point. So I'm just creating a line going down to that point. This doesn't feel right. Maybe it's right when it's done. This feels off. Alright, so we know this is 35 over, and we know it's 15 down. So I'm going to offset 35 this, and offset, enter, 15 down. Then we'll create a circle, a radius of 6. You get rid of that BS. We're going to have to move this over. So we're going to mirror it. We don't need that line. Mirror, enter. It says select objects. We selected that object. Enter. First point a mirror line. We're just going to essentially mirror it on this. So I clicked here, and then I'm going to click down here. Resource object, no. We don't need these lines. So then we are going to mirror, select the objects. We'll mirror it about these lines. Looks right, I think. Yeah, we're going to go with that. Nice job, Chris. I'm proud of you. You're the best. Most of the time, it's not the actual drawing. It's the interpretation of the drawing and how to do the stuff. So, that's good we had a little bit of a struggle. It's always good. Okay, so what we got going on here? This looks like it's doesn't have the lines, but it looks like it's symmetrical again. So I'm just going to draw this half and then mirror it again. So if we start on this edge, it's going to go up to 20. Now we'll do the I think this whole thing is symmetrical. 20, 20, 40, 80, 55, 75, blah, blah, blah. Now, we could do the same thing as last time, but I'm just going to cut it in half because it's going to be easier for me to draw anyway. Okay, so we will go up 40. I am doing this dimension. And now we need to here is 75, so that means this is 20. Oh, well, it's right there. And we need to go up 20 as well, because 80 minus 40 minus 20. So up 20 over 20, which is just a 45-degree angle, which we're set at. But I don't know that distance, so I'm going to up 20 over 20, connect down. And you know you're connecting to the right point because if it was a triangle, that's a midpoint. So then we come over 55. We know we're eventually going to go down 80 because of that. And this is where if we want to utilize that 45, we could. Because we could just draw the 45 line, and we know this is going to connect over. Then we could trim that out if we want. And this should just be a vertical line going through both points. See? Boom. Smarts! Smart, smart, smart. Okay, so we got that perimeter drawn. Now I need to draw half of this drawn. So articulate. So these are centered on 40s at the center. So all I need to do is go to the midpoint of this line, which you know is a triangle, and go make a line going up 20. Line. Didn't I say go down 80? Tell me I put like 8 or something. Okay. 6 foot times 12 plus 8. Yes, that's 80. L, enter. 20. There we go. Don't know what's happening there. It's an end point and a center point depending on where you do it because it's the end point of the line. But it's also the midpoint of the one line. So now we got these nice little segments. If we wanted to, we could get rid of this line now. Because we need to make our circle here and here. Which is a radius of 10. So C, enter for circle. R, enter for radius. 10. Now we got that. And we only need a portion of it. So if we extend this line in both directions, we could then trim it out. Because we're going to mirror this. Stupid. We need to go here. Not here. Same thing here. Itchy ear. Bye, Felicia. Bye, Felicia. So if that radius is 10, we know this so no. This radius is 10. That's fine. So 10. So this distance should be 10. Just double checking. Yep. So that means this distance is 10. Because the rest of that circle. So we're going to go up 10. And we are going to come down 10. Line, enter. Start it from those points. And if we're mirroring this, we actually got to trim more of this off. So I'm going to create 2 lines to trim off the portion we don't need. Bye, 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 and sync all up in this. So then we need to make this circle over here. So this is going to be centered 20 in, which is right here. So I could create a circle, hover over this point, which we know is 20 in, hover over this point, get that intersection with a radius of 10. Now we got this. And then we could just connect from 12 o'clock to that point, just straight line, which is nice. It means we didn't screw it up. Then we're going to trim this. That I should not have drawn this in half. We gonna mirror this real quick. Mirror, enter. Select everything, enter. Top point, bottom point. Don't erase the source object. Mistakes were made. Oh God. That's awesome. I'm so happy right now. Okay. Boom. Done. That was demo 17. Ooh, look at that. We get into some 3D business now. Just progressing. Demo 19. Let's go, baby. So, once we start getting into 3D, we need to decide what we're considering each face. So, generally, when stuff's an isometric, this is going to be like this little rectangle portion. That's going to be the front face. This is going to be a side face, and then up looking down is going to be the top face. When we've been drawing all these demos, we've just left the default in top, which is fine. But this is where we need to pay attention to what we're drawing stuff in. When we're drawing this image, it seems like the easiest way to go about it is going to be to draw it in this side view, like a left view, because we could draw this trapezoid shape and then region it and extrude it over. You can't really do this front face because then you're going to have to create this wedge, which you can't do in that face, similar to the top view. You could see how it would essentially just create a rectangle, and then we got to cut stuff out. So we are going to change this to a left view. And it looks like we're going to draw it and then we're going to move it. So we have this left view. We're going to start a line. We could see it goes up 50. So we're going to do that, up 50. It goes over 30 on both directions, 30. It comes down 20. We'll connect that back up. We don't need either of those anymore. We're going to come down 10. And we're going to connect it there. So you see how we drew this shape? It's the left view. Now when we're doing 3D stuff, some people will be like, oh, well, I just got to kind of draw in these lines and do it. No, that's not how we're going to be doing this. What we need to do is we need to region this to create a plane. So if you went to the 3D commands video, it'll kind of go over what region and extrude and all that is, but we need to create a plane on this, and the way we do that is region. So if we type in region and we highlight those 4 lines, it says 4 objects were found, and if we push enter, it says 1 region was created. And we could double check this by if we went to conceptual. You see how there's a plane? So we know we're good. Then we need to give it this depth, which is 25. So we're going to extrude, going to click, and we're going to go in 25. Then we got our little shape. And if we want to put it in line with all of our other stuff, we can. By moving this. Enter, and then just moving it to the construction line so it's a little more organized and it's kind of all in the same plane. If you don't do that and you start 3D rotating, things are just going to go all over the place. So we got that. That's demo 19. This one's 3 boxes of 2x2x5. So why don't we just go in a front view for this one? Or let's go into, yeah, let's just do a front view. Front. We over here now. Hover over. So this one's going to go up 5 over 2, and then that depth's going to be 2. So up 5, over 2, come down, boom. We have that. We're going to region it. You can see it created it. 1 region created. we're going to extrude it. So extrude, enter, click it, enter, and that's going to go 2. And if I go into 3D orbit, you could hold in shift and hold in your scroll wheel. It's like a 3D pan type business. So hold in shift, hold in your scroll wheel. Or you could type in 3DO and just left click and do the same thing. So we can see we got our box. We could copy our box because we know there's 3 of them. And this one we will have to rotate, or any of them we have to rotate, honestly. So the way we could do this is by typing in 3D rotate, enter. We could select an object and it gives you the different axes you could spin it on. So for this one, we're going to have to spin it on this green one. And then you could just go to your 90 or 270 or whatever, or you could just type it in and put... I did not mean to do that. 3D rotate. Green. 90, enter. There we go. So now that's turned. Now, I generally find it easiest to move stuff when you are in 2D wireframe, because if you do M-enter for move and you select your object, you could easily see which portion you're trying to grab. Like if I wanted to grab this back one, that's difficult to see when you're in conceptual. So I want to move from this base point, specify base point, to this base point so it's on top. And then we're going to do the same thing with this rightmost one. We're going to M-enter, select that object, move from here to here. And if we go into conceptual, we can see it's all together. Now, we know this is not a unioned object because we could see these lines. What I mean by that is if we were to union this and make it one object, you'll see that these lines disappear. I'm just going to do it to show you. See how there's no lines there now when we have lines there? Okay, so that is demo 22, and that is now done. Okay, so now we got this one. So this one, we got this rectangle box, we got this triangle John, and we got this triangle John with another box attached to it. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go in front view, which is this rectangle, and I'm going to draw both this rectangle and this triangle with this box attached to it. Let's do it. It says demo 23. Okay, so we got line, enter. We're going to come 1.88 over. We are going to go up 1. Connect it over, down. We are then going to region that. We are going to go back 2.81. Extrude, enter. Select your object, enter. 2.81, enter. We got our box. Go back to front. Come back to our draw line. Okay, so then we are going to do, we know this is 1.88 over. This entire thing from here to this back edge is 1.88. We know it goes up 0.88 because 1 and 1.88, so we know it goes up. Goes up 0.88. And we know it comes over 0.63. Connect that down. We're going to region that. We're going to extrude that. And we are going to extrude that 0.63. Look at that. It's coming together. You can move these in conceptual if you want. Like I said, generally, if you have trouble, it's easier to move in 2D wireframe, but we saw we got that. This triangle, we're going to have to come into left view. And we are going to go up 0.88. This is 0.88. And then we have 2.81 minus 0.63. So that's 2.18. It's a weird number, but is what it is. I didn't say that. I said 2.18. Connect that over. Region. Extrude 0.63. And then we could change this. It's going to be easier for a wireframe. We are going to move this point right here to there. And if we go to conceptual, boom. Ain't she so pretty? Okay. Demo 25. This one, we could draw this in two ways, and I'm going to show you both ways. You could decide which one you like better. We could either draw this as top view circle, region extruded down, same thing, same thing, same thing. And then this will be a cone. So let's do that one first. Let's move this in line. Get in line, good sir. So tiny. All right, top view. We're going to start a circle. This top one has a radius of 12.5. Big ass circle. Let's move it over. We're going to have another circle. I'm just going to assemble this all after the fact. We have one that has a radius of 8. We have one that has a radius of 16. So we had 12.5, 8, 16. This last one's 19. And then let's just get these all done and out of the way. So we are going to region all 4 of these. So we got those. And I'll go into a slight isometric so you could see the extrusions themselves. Extrude, enter. This one was extruded 25. This one was extruded 20. This one was extruded 8. This last one was extruded 10. Now if we wanted to, we could stack 3 of these on currently by going to 2D wireframe. We could click this one, making sure we're grabbing it from the top circle and not the bottom. So top to this portion. Start a move command again, M enter, and then move from the top one. Same thing. Let's get to there. So you can see how it's sort of taking shape. Right? So now we got to do this cone command. So if we do cone, enter, specify the center point of the base. So it's essentially going to be this one. Now we could just do this and type in the base radius. This bottom one is 19. We could stretch it this way, but right now you see it's just a point. It's like an ice cream cone. But we can specify a top radius if you look at the command line. So as I've always said, always look at the command line. Gives you some good stuff. And then that top one was 16. And then this distance is 25. So now we got that section. We could move that to here. And then this one you could move to here. And if we wanted to, we can union this all together so it's not a pain in the butt to continue to move. Hopefully I didn't accidentally grab something from that other thing, which it doesn't look like it did. So this is one way to draw it. The other way is we could essentially revolve it around 360. And the way you would do that is if you were looking at this in a front view, you see how this is all rectangular for the most part? If we were to create a bisecting line that went from here to here and just drew this half and region that and revolved it, it'll work too. So let's try that one. Move this over first. Move over. Okay, so for this one, remember we're doing halves of everything, so we're doing the radius of things. We are going to start at this bottom, and we are going to go over 19. We are going to come up 10. We are going to come up 25 and over. So we went from a 19 diameter or 19 radius circle down to a 16 radius circle. So we need to come over 3 and we can connect this over. Wrong space. It's there. So we could get rid of this. So right now we have drawn this section with the cone as well. See, it's kind of looking the same. We could continue this. We will go up 8. We went from a radius of 16 to a radius of 8. So we are going to come in 8. We are going to go up 20, which is there. So we are at this point now. We're going from a radius of 8 to a radius of 12.5. So we are going out 4.5. And we are going to go up 25. We are going to come in 12.5. And we are going to connect down. It should be a straight line if I didn't screw it up. Which I am good. So we got that. We are going to region this. Boom. So we got this nice John. And then we are going to revolve. And it's going to say, what do you want to revolve? Well, this John, of course. Enter. Start and end point of axis. Here, here, spin that. You can type in 360. We got an identical set of twins now, baby. Let's go. 2 different ways to draw it. However you prefer. I don't care. This is the end of part 2. There will be one more part with 4 more demos.